Ever had a wiser, much older person tell you this too shall pass, and you want to say, yeah, right. But then you're reminded of the hardships in your life where that just, you just needed a little bit of time or space in between the hard thing and where you are today. And you start to realize that, okay, well, maybe this too shall pass. Maybe this difficult boss that I have won't be my boss forever, or this difficult coworker that I'm having to deal with on this project, we won't be in that same realm forever, or this difficult class that I'm taking, or this difficult season is not going to last forever. And then you're also reminded that this too shall pass, in a sense of, if you're in a good season of your life and you start to kind of think, I really should appreciate the here and now, because the reality is this too shall pass. There feels like there's hope in that phrase of not being stuck in that hardship forever. This too shall pass also has a level of keeping you humble. You know what I mean? It keeps you humble because it allows you to have perspective that it's not always going to be this way. So friends, I don't know about you, but I think about grief and I think this too shall pass. That doesn't really happen in that realm. And so it still gives me hope, because I look back in my life and that phrase has helped me over and over again, because I truly believe that time does heal. It doesn't heal grief. So when people say, oh, time heals, you'll be okay, time heals, it's not the time that heals. Now, granted, that this too shall pass, the time does heal some things. You're done with the test that you were stressed out about. You're off your work shift. It's the weekend. Thank God it's Friday. But it's what you do with the time that heals. So if you're grieving a loss of somebody, this too shall pass. It's not just going to pass on. It's not like all of a sudden you're going to wake up and you're not going to feel that great loss in your life. But I will say what I've experienced in the last almost 17 months after losing my husband is that this too shall pass. I still carry that weight. It's the grief is still every day, but the heaviness is a little bit different. And that perspective of those good days are coming, and I'm grasping on to those moments that are sweet, often bittersweet. But I'm also realizing is what I do with that time that passes. That's so incredibly important. It's leaning in to the times that I can't do it on my own. It's asking for help when I don't have it in me to take the next step. It's realizing that I was never meant to carry this grief alone or burden this alone, and that calling on support from friends and leaning on my Heavenly Father is really necessary part of grief. So if you're in a season of life where you're enjoying it, I want to tell you this too shall pass. So take the moment, embrace the moment, because it will pass. But if you're in a season of your life where you're feeling discouraged, I want to also remind you that this too shall pass. So that advice that you got from that older person that said to you, this too shall pass. There's so much truth in that, my friend. Not everything goes away, but the seasons come and the seasons go. Make sure to lean in and embrace them for the seasons that they are, and realize that even though grief doesn't ever leave us, it morphs and transforms. And what we do with the time and how we heal makes us stronger to be able to carry that weight so much differently and realize that we can't do it on our own. So whatever season you find yourself in this morning, I want to remind you that this too shall pass.